Okay, I got myself into this Starrett analog Gage amplifier. It requires 7.5 volts, and it had this battery compartment, but I don't think they ever got it working off the battery because there's nothing in the electronics that set it up to work. So what I did was I have this 12 volt power supply, and then I have this it's just a little buck converter, and it is literally $1, so it's pretty good to have. And then I get the pin out here, but plugged it in. I actually went out of my way and I acquired a matching gauge that I think this is optical, and was the right pin out and blah blah blah. But before I powered this up, I tried to figure out which pin was positive, and what I found was I found a short between these two pins. So right as the power was coming in, there's a short. So I started digging into it, and there's like this is a JFET, Excalibur JFET input. There's a TLO84, I think that's a quad. No, it's a dual op amp. TLO8484, so it's a dual op amp. But I think the culprit here is this, it's a TC962 COA, and what this is it's a buck converter, kind of like that, but this one's at least $4, and it generates a plus minus 5 volts for the rest of the chips. So my next steps, well, I plug it in, I turn it on, and I get a short here. So what happens is there's a little LED on here, and it goes dead, and the buck converter starts going crazy. So it's kind of a good protection thing. But like I say, I can tell that there's a short right off the bat here. And then some of these powers, like, they're all ganged together. So we'll see where that ends up. I'd like to get this thing working. Like, I think it would be a pretty cool little tool to have. Like, it's way more precision than I really operate in, but I just, I think it's pretty cool. The probe that I bought is a probe display, so it's got a 600 thou travel. 600, if that's 600 thou, that would be 550 millionths. Is that right? You'll correct me if I'm wrong. And the display in here is actually really quite cool. Maybe in another video I'll open that up. But my next steps are, I'm going to take this chip out, and I'm going to check if my short is still there. If my short is still there, it's likely this culprit. The other thing is these op amps, they blow all the time. But I'm leaning towards this input because somebody probably, plugged a 12 volt into it or a 9 volt into it and blew up the power input, and that's why this thing was so cheap. But at the same time, hey, it's just stuff to get going with, and for me, it's not that much to experiment with, so here goes nothing.